Oh my goodness, did I finally overdo it? Hey everybody, Mike from Fishermn here. If I did overdo it, I'm gonna blame Dick's Sporting Goods, Walmart, and Bass Pro. Now let's get into my process for buying lures for the open water 2025 season. All right, so it's no secret here in Minnesota, the lakes freeze over all winter. And another thing that's not a secret is I don't get ice fishing too much. In fact, my last video was my only trip out ice fishing this season. But what I do like to do over the winter is I like to get ready for the open water season. So in the last couple of years, I've gotten really good at finding deals. And as we go along here, I'm going to show you what I got. I'm going to tell you where I got it. And I think you'll be pretty surprised at the great deal I got for all this stuff in front of you. All right, well here you have it. This is all the Dick's Sporting Goods stuff that I got this winter. And man, it was quite a quest to collect all this stuff. Now, just basically, Dick's had some great sales. Over the last couple of months, just checking back with Dick's Sporting Goods, they had a lot of buy 3, get 3 free sales. So in other words, 50% off. So when you see the goat toads, I got 6 packages for essentially half price because they're buy 3 get 3 free. And these, I was thinking so many times I'm jig fishing and I'm just sliding my jig off the top of the lily pads. I thought, you know what, why not have a frog profile? So I got 2 bags of each color, green, white, and black, because those are the main colors I use. So I'm excited to use these. It's a new thing for me. You see the spinner baits up here, plus 2 of these jigs, buy 3 get 3 free, tour grade, tungsten jigs, super great deal. And then I also in store got buy 3 get 3 free on the tungsten tour grade jigs. I always use 3/8 ounce swim jigs. It's just what I've been using lately. Just recently, they have the mock lures on sale, and they're kind of expensive, but when you can buy 3 and get 3 free, those came down in price also. So I don't have a lot of swim baits that I use, hard swim baits, so I thought I'd do that. And then you know what? If you watch my channel, you know I love frog fishing. Haven't seen one this color for a while, so I had to get a nice sparkly frog. For maybe one of those slow days or one of those days when I need something a little bit different. Now, moving over to this side, Buckeye jigs. I've been getting more into jig fishing, and I saw these Buckeye jigs on a trip into a Dick's Sporting Goods. Now, one of the things you need to know, if you shop there, you know, a lot of times their clearance stuff is buy 5, get 5 free. So I have 10 of these Buckeye jigs in various colors. Most of them are flipping jigs, but I've got a couple of brush pandas, they're called. I've never used the Buckeye jigs, but they look pretty nice, and the price was right. They were on clearance, and I got 5, buy 5, get 5 free. So I got 10 of these Buckeye jigs. And then the old standby, the Hack Attack Pro Model jig, was another one of those Strike King lure sales they had, where if you buy 3, you get 3 free. So I got 6 of these. The nice thing about these too is as I'm buying all this stuff, I have a Dick's Sporting Goods card. So I actually got these for about $7 for 6 jigs because I had a little Dick's Sporting Goods cash. So don't forget to use those incentive cards. Now, one thing on this table I have not talked about are the jackhammers. This was by far the best deal that I got at Dick's Sporting Goods. And it was kind of cool because I just happened to, there's a Dick's Sporting Goods that's quite a ways away from where I live, but I know they have good stuff. So I went there in late February, early March, and I was walking around and they didn't have much clearance stuff. And so one of the salespeople came by and I said, oh, I was kind of hoping you'd have the buy 5 get 5 free. And he said, well, actually, we have a big box of stuff that's priced but not put out yet. If you're familiar with Dick's, they opened up a store called Public Lands, and one of the Public Lands stores in Minnesota has decided not to sell fishing lures. So they sent this Dick's Sporting Goods all their inventory, and it was a bunch of high-end jackhammers and other things. And so I got to be the first person to pick through this box. So you know what, timing is everything. I lucked out. I got 10 jackhammers on clearance plus 50% off of the clearance price. So you just can't beat that. If you use chatterbaits, I've really gotten into the high-end chatterbaits lately. I just don't like paying $15 to $18 a piece for them. So these were in the $6 to $7 range once all was said and done. So for 10 jackhammers, about 70 or 80 bucks. I feel like that's a really good deal. You can let me know what you think in the comment. And I really have enjoyed using the higher end chatterbaits, which is the Thunder Cricket slobber knockers, which you'll see in a little bit here in the video, and these jackhammers. Now the selection and colors, a few of them are different than what I usually use, but you know what I've found in the last couple of years? There's a spot for every color on the different lakes that I fish. So I think I'm going to be excited to use these this summer. So that was just a fun surprise. I always feel like I'm a day late getting to the clearance bin, but this time I was right on time and it got a great deal. Now I told you about the spinner baits and a couple of the jigs. These jigs were kind of fun. My buddy Paul, you've probably seen him on the channel. Sometimes I call him Leader Guy because that's kind of how we got together. We made some leaders together. But I gave him a call. And you know, it's another thing we do in Minnesota. We got to entertain ourselves when the water is frozen. If we can't get out ice fishing, what do? We go and we do a tour of the cities looking for lures. So we ended up at my favorite Dick's Sporting Goods. My quest was to find some Strike King lures. And here's kind of what that part of the day looked like. Paul and I had a lot of fun looking for some fishing lures. Time to go shopping, and guess what? We got Paul with us today.
Looking for the discounts.
We are looking for deals. I would say your first tip is to kind of have in your head what you're looking for. Now I'm gonna put Paul on the spot in a minute because I didn't tell him to let me know what he was looking for, but I'm looking for some jigs that aren't black and blue. I'm pretty well stocked on those. And then I'm always looking for a deal you can't pass up, like that 75% off deal. So right now, jigs are on my list. It might evolve as we go. Paul, do you have anything you're looking for?
I may be looking for some plastics today, and I'm also maybe looking for some accessories for my new kayak.
Plastics and accessories for the new kayak. We're in Minnesota, so we're gonna go to a bunch of stores that right now at this time of the year have some pretty good deals. Let's get shopping. Right, we made it. Stop number 1. This should be on your list too because I got them everywhere. We are going to Walmart. It's the end of February, and Walmart in Minnesota anyhow always has a bunch of clearance stuff. So we're gonna go check it out. Stop number 1, no purchases. But man, if you need a rod, now is the time to be at Walmart. I'll put a little graphic up here of the different prices, but they had Lew's, they had Abu Garcia, they had Berkeley lightning rods. Great deals, more than 50% off. Stop number 2, Fleet Farm in Minnesota. Maybe you have a farm and fleet, maybe you have a LMS fleet. But Fleet Farm is a good bet in Minnesota. Let's get in there and see what we can find. All right, stop number 3, stop number 4. Gotta take a side trip to Costco once in a while. But here we are at Dick's Sporting Goods. And this isn't just a regular old Dick's Sporting Goods. This is the one that you drive through Minneapolis to get to because, one, they have a great deal on their clearance stuff, and two, it's a huge one. So what do you think, Paul? Are we going to find some stuff here?
Big deals, big deals. Let's go get them.
Big deals. We're going to fill the bags up. We're going to get in there and see what we can get. Success. Found our jigs, found some good deals here at Dick's Sporting Goods in Minneapolis. Got some jigs that are not black and blue. I've got the green pumpkin craw and the gator craw, which will be a great kind of sunfish pattern for the summer. What do you got, Paul?
I got some topwater buzz baits.
All right, so not clearance, but a great sale at Dick's Sporting Goods. Buy 3, get 3 free. Essentially, they were half off. And I have been looking for these jigs for a long time, so a good score. All right, so Dick's Sporting Goods, I would give them a grade of an A. They had good regular sales. Always be watching out for those even before the season starts here. They have great clearance deals, especially the buy 5, get 5 free or whatever you can find. And depending on the Dick's Sporting Goods in your area, they have a pretty great selection of things. So don't take Dick's Sporting Goods off your list. Another thing I did was I bought some of this stuff online if maybe there was a color or a size that I needed, because their online sales reflected their store sales too. All right, let's see what Walmart had to offer. All right, got all the Walmart stuff set up. I'll tell you what, if you want to put in the comments right now while you're watching, what do you think the price for all that Dick's Sporting Goods stuff would be? Kind of think about it, because I want to show you there's some great deals out there. So at the end of the video, I'll put a picture of each store's tackle that I bought. I'll put the retail value, and then I'll put what I paid. So I wonder if you can kind of guess. Dick's Sporting Goods, just a lot of variety of things. Walmart.com especially, a lot of times you can find some good clearance deals in the store for Walmart. This year I seemed like I was always a week late, and the things that I would want were already sold out. They do have a lot of good clearance deals, especially late fall, but sometimes even throughout the winter here in Minnesota. But Walmart.com can be a place where you can find some deals. Slobber knockers are another kind of, I consider them a little bit higher end chatterbait. If you use the original chatterbaits, I like them. I like the colors. I like the durability. The only thing is the clip. And if you've ever seen my videos, it's not just slobber knockers, it's thunder crickets, it's jackhammers. The darn clip that they use you use it to connect to the line, they got to do something about that. So I'm kind of working on that too, to see if I can figure out a better solution. Essentially just check it every few casts, otherwise the clip might come open and you might lose the lure. Slobber knockers were between $4 and $6, and the chartreuse and white ones were $4 a piece, and then the green pumpkin and the shiner color were $6 a piece. Now if I would have known about Bass Pro's sale, I probably would have backed off on the $6 ones. Slobber knockers are usually $10 to $15 anyhow, so I feel like I got a pretty good deal on these. And then what do you put on the back of them, especially the white and chartreuse ones? Pearl white. Now you see a whole pile of these here, and what they are power bait, power stingers. And do I need this many? Not really, but they're usually $10 a pack, and I found them on Walmart.com for $2.37 a pack. So I bought a pile of them. My buddies use them. I can give them some, and there may be a Fishermn garage sale in the near future where I can sell some of them too and pass on the savings to others. So great deal on some slobber knockers and some power stingers. Now you see behind me, I have some rods. I do not need any fishing rods. I mean, I'm set on them. But when I went to my local Walmart, they had them for $10 a piece. And I just felt like I needed to pick up a bunch of them. I don't know if I'm gonna do a giveaway with them. I've already given some to friends. But they're Lew's Mach 1 rods, usually about 50 bucks for 10 bucks. They're Abu Garcia Vengeance rods for $10. The two that I gave away were Lew's laser casting rods. Kind of, if you know them, it's the neon yellow kind of color, and they were $10. And then I got two higher end ones, a newer Vengeance one for $10, and then new Vendetta, and that might be one that I saved for myself, but I'm not sure. So if you happen to see me on the water this summer, I'm going to carry a couple of these with me, and if you need a new rod, you just ask, and if I've got one, it's yours. So I just had to pick them up. You know, there's about $500 worth of rods that I got for 9 rods, and I paid $90 for it. So just happy to pick them up and happy to get them into hands of people who want to use them. So Walmart was really good. You just have to keep looking. But if there's something you like to use, even though maybe your local Walmart doesn't have them, go online and see if they've got them online. Happy to get them. Power stingers, slobber knockers, great deal. So think about how much this portion of, I already kind of told you about the rods, but how much this portion might have cost. And at the end, I'll have a picture of this table and we'll see how close you came. So if you want to put that in the comment now, that's great. Whatever, you could just wait till the end too and see what percentage it was. So it's more about just showing you that there's deals out there. I already kind of told you these were so deeply discounted. Just had to get a bunch of them because I use them all the time. All right, moving on to Bass Pro Shop. All right, here we are, Bass Pro Shop. Starting over on this side, hopefully a lot of you who like to fish took advantage of the Bass Pro Spring Sales event. It's the best time of the year, I think, to buy things that you need for the season. And trying to think ahead to what I need, I tried to fill it out, as you can see on this table. So needed some line. The Suffix 832 is good line, and they had it for $10 a spool. So I got a couple of rods I'm going to spool that up with. Generally on my frog rod, I'm using Power Pro Super Slick version 2, but I've got a couple other reels I think this will be good for. Crankbaits. Great deal on some crankbaits. If you watched my River Smalley video, definitely I had that in mind as I was getting these crankbaits. Slobber knockers, I mentioned in the Walmart portion of this video that I might have waited on a couple of slobber knockers if I would have known, because Bass Pro actually had them for $5 a piece. So I filled out some white ones. As you can see, I got a lot of white power stingers I'm going to be using. White's a favorite color of mine. I had to pick up a couple of these. These are called coleslaw, and they've always just been interesting to me. So, you know, in Minnesota we got a lot of northerns, so definitely that flashiness is going to catch a northern's eye. Chopos, had them for pretty close to half price. Evos, so I have a lot of chatterbaits, as you saw, the jackhammers and the slobber knockers. These are the Z-Man Evo Chatterbait Elites. The reason I got most of these is because of the color. I love the electric shad power stinger. That's my go-to tail. You know, you saw the white power stingers, my go-to tail, and this color is actually called electric shad. So I'm thinking they're gonna match up just perfect with those tails. Got a couple of bluegill ones too. These at Bass Pro were regular like $12 for around 6. Actually, Dick's Sporting Goods had a better deal on them. They had a buy 3 Z-Man, get 3 free, and their regular price was $9. So they were $5 there. However, they didn't have the electric shad, so that's why I went with Bass Pro on those. I've been using a lot of Maxcent Power Stinger Chigger Craws. Not a great deal, but a good deal. These were 25% off, as well as the Gulp. Gary Yamamoto Zaco lures. It's a color that I can't find in like power stingers and things, so I got a couple of packages of these to put behind some chatterbaits. And what do you see before you but a big pile of Booyah Pad Crashers? Because that's the frog I use, that's the frog I've always used. If you follow the channel, you're probably saying to yourself, wait a minute, you got 50 of those for your 50th birthday. Well, I'm turning 55 this year, so it's been 4 years of use, and last year I finally got through the 50th one. Now, you might think I'm crazy for going through that many frogs, but in Minnesota, we've got northerns. I generally don't fish frogs with leaders on, and man, there's some trips where I lose 2 or 3 of them. So, just happy to restock the supplies. If you look at these at Walmart or Bass Pro, they're usually about $7 or $8 a piece. So when Bass Pro has them for, I think they were like $3.50, I'm gonna stock up. So I believe I got 22 frogs. So should be good till maybe retirement, I don't know. So we'll see. So this is the Bass Pro stuff that I got. Happy to get it. Think about how much you think this would be retail, and towards the end I'll tell you the deal that I got on the Bass Pro stuff. So you saw the Dick's Sporting Goods, you saw the Walmart, you saw the Bass Pro. It's time to add everything up. So what I did was I went to a popular online site and I put everything I ordered from Dick's Sporting Goods, Walmart, and Bass Pro through their cart system. I did not push buy because I don't want to buy it at full price. And then what I'll do is I'll put the total of what I paid and the % off. So just so you can kind of get an idea, yes, there's some great deals out there. You can find some really nice high-end stuff for maybe the price of the lower end stuff of the same kind of lures. So I'll show you those totals. For me, half the fun is the hunt of finding a great deal on a lure or a rod or whatever it may be for fishing. So I guess if I had to break it down, there's 3 ways to do it. You can hunt in person, like I got out with my buddy Paul. That was a fun day for us, just kind of looking around, maybe having a target in our mind of what we want to get. You can hunt online, and like I say, check Walmart, check back to Walmart, spell things a little different. Sometimes if you put a search on YouTube for a lure that you want, it'll pop up on Walmart's site, whereas I was searching it on Walmart, it wasn't coming up. So doing those hunts, whether it's in person or online, that's a great thing. Some places have annual sales events. I don't have my Tackle Warehouse stuff, but I do have a bunch of stuff from Tackle Warehouse that I bought because right around Christmas time they have like 25% off site-wide. Or like right now they have a little clearance sale on certain items. So checking back, and like Tackle Warehouse has a daily deal that they have. So once you get to the point where you know what you fish with, then you can kind of really target those things. Most people have a Bass Pro within driving distance of them. Go to their spring sale. You'll be able to stock up. They pretty much have everything on sale, everything you need. So that's a great time of the year to do that. Now, if you're watching this and you're just starting out, maybe you're not so targeted, I use chatterbaits, I use frogs, and I use jigs. Those are the three things that probably 90% of my fishing is going to be. I kind of know that those are the things I want to get. I'm going to stock up. If you're kind of new to fishing and you want to try some new techniques and some other kinds of lures, I would recommend the Mystery Tackle Box. Go to their site, mysterytacklebox.com, and you can get a subscription, or you can get a single box or two, or a partial subscription. And what they're going to do is they're going to send you a variety of things, and you can start building up your tackle box until you figure out those things you like to use. So just so you know, full disclosure, I am not sponsored by any of these companies. I'm not getting money to do this video from any of these companies. I'm like you. I'm using my own money to buy lures, to stock my fishing equipment the way I want to. I'm lucky to have a little extra money to spend on it. But you don't need all this stuff to have fun fishing. You know, you can start out with your basic chatterbaits. You can start out with a frog or two, and then once you figure out what you like, then you can kind of fine tune it from there. No matter what your tackle box looks like, I hope you're getting out fishing, and I'll see you on the next video. Pretty picked over.